Hello world, welcome to the 62nd climate change emergency awareness protest in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, USA. It is 32 degrees out right now, which is 0 degrees Celsius. As you can tell, there's no snow on the ground, and the situation is going to become dire, I think, this summer for our area in Pennsylvania. So next week's rally will be on Thursday, not Friday. That'll be at 11 a.m. Have to take off on Friday, which is a normal time, as my sister passed away, and so we'll be putting her in the ground next Friday. This is Valentine's Day, and you should love your Mother Earth. This is truly the time to go out and hug a tree. You should go out, sit outside, maybe in nature, or just on your back porch, or on a street somewhere, and just enjoy the air and try to stay away from the pollution. Better yet, you should join a protest sometime, make it a goal to do that. Right now, the CO2 level hit an all-time high of 416 this week. Usually the high is not hit till May, so we're in for a bumpy ride in that we could very well hit 420 parts per million. It's not going to be a pleasant situation once the temperature catches up to the CO2 level. As I said many times before, mankind has only existed from 200 parts per million to 280 parts per million. So right now we're at 416. So it's not a good situation. It takes temperature about 15 years to catch up to the CO2 levels. So right now we're equal to 2005, 2007 levels. CO2 as far as temperature goes, which is the start of the iPhone era, and the Chinese manufacturing really going crazy. So I think what's going to happen is next 2-3 years we're going to see exponential rise in temperatures, and it's not going to be a pleasant situation. Right now the main news has been about the coronavirus, which is a serious situation, but a more intense news going on right now, and it's happening in real time, is that the locust plague in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula and the East Horn of Africa, the Ethiopian area, and countries around there, Djibouti and Kenya. And the reason behind that is the climate change situation, in that those areas don't usually get a lot of rain or no rain at all. And what they've had is deluges, and it caused an exponential growth in locusts, which we call grasshoppers here. And that happened in 2018, and then finally they're spreading all over the place across the Arabian Peninsula and the East Horn of Africa. And the danger is that they're going to go exponential eventually. If the United Nations doesn't jump on board, the United States and their racist attitudes out of Washington, D.C. don't get on board soon, what's going to happen is that the growth of the locust plague will grow 400 times larger, and it'll take over much of Africa. And it's going to become an extremely wide situation, and that millions of people are going to die. Right now, the locusts are eating to the equivalent of 17.5 million people per day in food. So they're just devouring everything. And once they grow another 400 times larger, it's going to become a ridiculous situation, and it will probably make everyone forget about the coronavirus. Of course, the United States media doesn't cover anything other than United States BS news, which is a lot of times just should be local news. They're not in touch with the world at all, and they don't want to be. And it's a collusion situation going on. It's the reason behind this happening in the East Horn of Africa and Saudi Arabia with all the rain has been the dipole situation of the Indian Ocean, in that it was warmer in the west side of the Indian Ocean than the east side of the Indian Ocean, and it caused more water vapor to go up in the air, which caused deluges in those areas of Saudi Arabian Peninsula and the East Horn of Africa. So it's definitely a climate change issue, and people won't associate that with it, but and the media won't say it, but that's what happened in this situation. So right now you have a press in the United States and around the world that are basically cowards. They won't, and so are the politicians. They won't report as to what's happening. They don't want to tell the public. They want to keep their power in play. They want to stay in charge, and you know, right now it's working out for them, but eventually people will figure out once it starts happening to their families that they are not in control and things are way out of control. Hold on, got a truck. So these people are basically cowards, and that's the very least of it all, if not straight outright murder. not reporting the situation is the responsibility of the press. So, you know, it's gone past just being cowards to just plain outright murder as to what's happening. So it's a bad situation, and the press needs to get on board and grow up and actually grow a pair and quit being controlled by the 6 families that control all of them and pay their bills. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your career and report what's happening. The first responsibility is a meteorologist to say what's happening, and then the news as well. So neither is doing their job at all. This Paris Agreement, you know, they keep saying, oh, 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius is what we're aiming for. 2 degrees Celsius is going to be calamitous. Right now we're experiencing all these problems. It's supposedly a 1.1 increase, which is not true, but it is 1.1 in their books. So a 2 would be devastating. There's no way we can survive this. And the projections is that the Earth is going to go up to 3 to 5 to, I've seen as many as 16 degrees Celsius increase. And you won't be able to walk outside before you die if it goes up to 16 degrees Celsius. So people need to get on board right now and get out on the streets. Again, this is the 62nd climate change rally here, protest, and nobody's here. My wife will be here in a little bit, but that's basically been it. People need to consistently be out here, and we need hundreds of people in Gettysburg to put pressure on the local politicians and then the statewide politicians. It'll catch fire if people start behaving and growing up and not being cowards and doing the right thing. You know, you can't worry about what your neighbors are going to say about you. You're in a fight for the death at this point, and it's high time you realize that. You know, as I said many times before, I think by 2023, everyone's going to know someone who is profoundly affected by climate change. By 2026, you personally will be affected by climate change. Someone in your family or you personally will be affected by it. So we're experiencing that personally. We've had friends that are losing trees all over the place. And the person who never ever talked about it is now saying that, yeah, this is a result of climate change and I've lost all my trees because of it. So it's a bad situation. So the main thing you can do is get out and protest for now and put extreme pressure on the politicians. They're insulated, and waiting for elections won't get anything done. You're just going to end up with more of the same. And, you know, unless your politicians start growing up and stop becoming cowards and greedy and paid off by the major fossil fuel corporations, or feel they're controlled by outsiders other than you, they're going to keep doing what they're going to do. They see no reason to change things. So you need to put the pressure on them by being out here. And if we had enough people, we'd go to split the group in half, have half at the square here and half at the courthouse. And then after that, it would take fire because, you know, around the state, because they would see that one city is actually getting up in arms about it. But right now it's not happening. We definitely have organizations in this town and on Facebook that can actually cause, you know, a change in the attitudes around here. You got Gettysburg Rising, you got Green Gettysburg, you got Gettysburg Green Gathering, you got Adams County Green Party, you got the Adams County Democratic Party. And the Republicans right now are lost cause, but if they were smart, they would realize that their farmer friends are experiencing severe problems with climate change as well. And that's why I usually ask a farmer, you know, ask your farmer as to what the situation is in his life or her life as far as being farmers and how it's changing their lives. So enough with the admonishment here, and, you know, I hope someone comes out eventually, but right now it's not happening. So happy Valentine's Day. Get out in nature, become a part of it, hug a tree, because trees are the most important thing right this second. It's keeping things in line. And once we lose all of them, I think we're cooked. So hug a tree, get out in nature, sit on your porch, do what you need to do. And next week's rally, as I said, will be on Thursday at 11 a.m. here in Gettysburg, PA. Bye.